differently than I thought it was going to. And I realize it is nearly, I guess, 2 hours, nearly 2 hours after I usually broadcast. And I understand that, but also at the same time, I promised that I would do a live stream with all of the regular facets of my live stream. And considering I'm driving right now, that's probably not going to happen. But I also did not want another Friday night to pass without doing a live stream. So I know I've been doing a lot of live streaming. Today alone, I did a little Instagram live doing card of the day. And I said I was going to come on here and do my regular live stream with all of the facets of my usual live stream, like my Astro Weather from Teresa Reed's wonderful Astro Biz Digest, like the mid-episode reading, like the weekend forecast. And more than likely that's not going to happen tonight, considering the fact that I am driving. So there's only so many things I can do, and I am trying this. I am hopefully able to see some of the comments. I'm also dealing with some drivers that are, I don't know, not so nice. So hopefully if the chat pops up, go ahead and test out the chat by just putting in testing or hi or hello, just so I can see it come up. It's a little bit of a different format than Instagram, and I just wanted to see if it works, first of all, and second of all, to not let another week go without me live streaming on the two of you. And you know, the Book of Face, sorry. There's only so many things I can do, and I went a little too hard today, and I thought I was going to be able to do a bunch of different things, and I am only human after all. So I see that Katie is chatting. Thought I had missed you. No, I'm just running very late. And be safe on the road though. Yes, I will be safe on the road. I'm an excellent driver. I cannot say the same for some of the people on the road with me. So I did a little bit of an Insta Live before when I was driving over to see to visit her. And I hit 3 separate bouts of traffic while coming to drive to her. And by the way, she only lives like a half an hour away from me, so it's not that far of a drive. But on that drive, 3 separate gluts of traffic. And I took the opportunity to do our card of the day while I was sit in the traffic and also answer different questions. I don't even know if they were questions, but more stuff that I had on my mind, like about your spiritual non-negotiables and keeping up with those practices, and also, you know, making sure that you have containers for your best work, whether it's psychic work or not. You know, showing that you have, like, maybe showing a physical sign that you're open for business, quote unquote, especially if you're doing psychic work. I had realized this morning that I hadn't been wearing my psychic mala as I've been doing readings, because it's not necessary for me to wear the psychic mala in order to do a reading and do it well, but it's just helpful for me to have that physical touchstone, to be able to show to spirit and to the universe, like, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to work. And when I take it off, that, like, that's my sign that to them that it's just like, okay, I'm done for the day. We're not doing readings anymore. And you know, any intuitive hits that I might get outside of the reading space, it's just like, I will probably keep them to myself, because they're not for anybody else, or not anyone paying me to do a reading for them, unless of course there is a reading coming up. And then if I know there's a reading coming up, it's just like, this might be for somebody that I have a reading scheduled. Like, let me go ahead and quickly jot that down so that I can remember to tell them about it before it goes out of my head. Anyway, so welcome to the live stream. None of the normal rules applies. It's more of a live stream card talk variety. And I just didn't want another week to pass without doing a live stream. So welcome to the broadcast. There has been a lot of stuff going on in Tarot by Hillary Land. I didn't even mention this during the Instagram live that I did earlier, but apparently I have the capability now to go live on TikTok. And I don't know. That might be like TikTok's last gasp of them trying to cling onto existing, because I have never been able to go live on TikTok. It's always been rooted in, if you have this many followers, then you can go live on TikTok. And I've never had the amount of followers that they had said. Like, you have to have at least, I think, 1,000 followers to be able to go live on TikTok. And I don't have 1,000 followers on TikTok. I think I maybe top out at around 700. Who knows how many of them are actually real life people? But suddenly I have the capability to go live on there. Could it be because of the possible impending TikTok ban in the United States? I don't know. It seems like a pretty mighty big coincidence. Anyway, and there are certain things on TikTok that I enjoy. I like doing silly videos. I like doing, I don't know, those kind of like lip syncing challenges where you hear a funny audio and then you apply it to your field. Like, I enjoy that. I don't think I get a lot of traction from it, but I do enjoy doing it. Like I did the other day regarding spammers or impersonators with a Family Guy audio, because, like, why the hell not? So I did that, but I didn't get as many views as I thought I was going to. And I think that's really not the point. You know, like, I want to be able to go on social media and enjoy it, not feel like I have to post a certain something or create a certain something or be an influencer or any of that crap. To go on these different apps and sometimes when I get on these apps, it brings out my competitive streak. And not in a good way. Like, y'all know that I'm an Aries. You all know that competition is a pretty big cornerstone of my personality, as well as being, you know, typical fire sign, start strong, then fizzle out, pulls no punches, really has this blunt way of reading tarot, which could just be me and could be a part of my fire sign. I don't know. But competition, pretty big part of my personality. And I don't necessarily know if social media is healthy for me in that way. Like, if I'm creating something, I want to be the best. I want to be the best at what I'm doing. And I want to make it clear that I'm the best. And I am looking at those numbers. And I am seeing how many views or how many likes or how many this or how many that. And it's just like, I don't know if that's necessarily a healthy way to spend my time. And I've been doing a lot of tapping recently on my relationship to social media, my relationship to prosperity and abundance, and creation over consumption. And I do realize that, sorry, like, got things tipping over here. I do realize that I probably need to keep my eyes on my own paper with regard to interacting with these different apps, especially the social media apps. Yeah, so Katie's saying, and hopefully I can read all of this because it's very, very tiny font. It's not really your brand, in my humble opinion. So maybe that is why it didn't get so many views. Oh, the lip syncing? Well, I mean, the humor. the humor is definitely me, but maybe my grasping energy probably can be sensed. I think that's probably what did it. That it wasn't necessarily like brand, not brand, I don't know, but it was probably the intention with which that I posted it is not what I was going for, or not what people sensed. I think you're right about that. Not necessarily the brand portion of it, but the energy with which or the intention with which I did it. I think that's probably it. Yeah. Use social media to your advantage. Stick with your brand. Yeah. I'm trying, Katie, but it's really weird to navigate this kind of shit. And oh, by the way, so there's also a really, really good reason why I'm late in doing this. So I was out with, okay, wow. Solid white line means stay in your lane, right? Okay. And now I've got someone coming up on me on the left. That is not a passing lane. Okay. Like I said, I'm an excellent driver. I don't worry about myself. I worry about other people. So the reason why I'm late tonight is because, so I went to visit my mom, and it was a really, really good visit, but we ended up going out and doing some errands because she's going away for the weekend. So she wanted to get a bunch of different things to bring with her over this weekend. And so we went to the coffee shop, and we got some ground coffee that one of our family friends' sons likes. And yes, it's this exit. And then we went to the liquor store because there were certain things that she wanted to buy to bring with her for the party. Not necessarily a party, but it's just like a weekend away. And then we went out to a local pub in her neck of the woods, and I just struck up a conversation with the person there. They've been in business for 2 years, but it was a business that was in existence before, and I think they bought out the business. And it's within walking distance from my mom's apartment, which is really nice. And my mom always says, like, how lucky she is living where she lives, and, you know, that she can walk to pretty much everything, and it's just a lovely area to live. And so she was congratulating this person that had been in business for 2 years as of June. Yeah, Katie says, social media is hard. Yes, it is. And hi, hello, over here. So I was talking to this woman, and apparently, so there is a tarot reader that has a storefront. They call themselves a certain thing, like blah, blah, blah of the town. And I've looked at their website because it's not to say that I am gatekeeping. I don't think I'm gatekeeping. I think I'm trying to be protective of tarot and protective of the psychic arts. And so, you know, when this storefront popped up, I was like, not getting a great vibe. And so I got information, I got onto their website, and they don't list their name. They don't list their government name. It's just blah, 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 blah. And now all of you know that my business's name is not my government name. It has my government name in it, but it's not my government name. It is Tarot by Hillary, and that is my name. My name is Hillary. That's my first name. Now, but if you go onto my website, which is tarotbyhillary.com, I know it's not creative. I'm not the most creative person with naming things. But you go onto my website, and I have my full name on my website. Full name. So you know exactly who I am, and you also have pictures of who I am as well. Hold on, let me drive carefully. I hate this stretch of road because there's like a speed warning, and People frequently speed or try and go around me at this portion. Anyway, you go onto my website, you see my picture. It's not a relatively new picture, but it's a picture, like, you can recognize that you have my full name. Now, this person does not have their full name on there. And it just gives me this really icky feeling when people do that. And I couldn't, guys, I couldn't help myself. I couldn't. Because this business is right next door. So I was just like, so don't get a great vibe over that, you know, like, and they brought it up first. Like, we were talking about, like, weird metaphysical stuff, like, oh, is this restaurant haunted? Is this restaurant haunted? You know. I was just like, oh, well, that restaurant's deeply haunted. Deeply. And then she was looking at me, and she was like, well, you know, I think we have a ghost too. And I'm just like, in the basement? Yeah, you do. And it's just like, I'm sorry, it's just part of who I am and what I do. I don't necessarily advertise it. I don't necessarily say, like, hey, I'm a ghost hunter, because, like, that's kind of not what I do. Like, I can sense spirit, but I'm like, that's not how I lead normally. I'm just like, yeah, I'm a tarot reader, I'm an intuitive, I'm a psychic, but I'm not like, I'm like, ooh, ghosts. Like, I don't really lead with that. That doesn't mean that I don't sense shit. I definitely do. But I was just like, oh yeah, you have a ghost in your basement. We can talk about that. And, you know, and my mom's just sitting next to me. It's just like, okay, we're having drinks and having a good time. But, like, at this point, my mom knows who I am. She knows who her daughter is. And so, she barely even bats an eye. And she starts ruffling around in her bag. And I'm just like, are you going for my business card right now? She was like, yeah. And I'm just like, I've got cards, Mom. It's like, okay. It's like very, very sweet, but also just like, I got this. It's okay. And so this person was saying, like, oh, so you're a reader, you're this, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm a tarot reader. And she's like, oh, cool, okay. And she was like, well, are you free on this date? And I happen to not be working my retail shift on this date, so I was just like, yeah, actually I am. And this is all, like, spur of the moment shit, where my mom was just like, oh, do you think we can go in here? Because, like, I really like their fries. Like, sure, Mom. Sure, we can go in there, we can have dinner or snacks or whatever you want to do, that's fine. And because of that, like, I turned to her after the person walked away, like, I brought out my business card and I handed it to her, and she was like, oh yeah, I will definitely be in contact with you. I promise I will be in contact with you. I'm just like, cool, awesome. She was like, do you think you can block out the date, like, now? And I'm just like, yeah, I can block out the date. And I turned to my mom and I was just like, thank you for suggesting this, because, you know, it's just like, my mom is kind of my tarot pimp, which is lovely. It really is. Like, my family is so supportive of what I do, and, you know, like, it has not been an easy thing, you know, and it's definitely not easy as the person who's the weirdo, and I'm sure it's not easy for the family of the weirdo. But, you know, like, after the initial, like, shock, I guess, just like, I have a really good family, you know, I have a family that loves and supports me and, you know, recommends me for things, and just like, oh, you know, my daughter is this, or my sister is this. It's just like, it's really lovely to see that support, because I know I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky that there are people that are definitely weirdos and definitely spirit workers or root workers that might not have an understanding family. Katie says, you don't have Ghost Hunter on a t-shirt. You know, possible merch, right? I mean, card slingers. Weirdly enough, like, have we done a ghost hunting episode of Card Slingers? I don't think so. But you guys know better than us. Like, have we done Yeah, I mean, we've definitely done Into the Mystic, parts 1 and 2, where we've shown our weirdness as children, but that doesn't necessarily mean to say, like, oh, ghosts. Like, I don't think we've talked about our experiences necessarily with spirit or with sensing things. Like, maybe we do. Maybe we do need to have a ghost episode, like talking about ghosts. I've certainly had experiences that I don't know if I've ever talked about them publicly. I definitely have seen like a full-on apparition. I've also felt and sensed. So, you know, I've had both sides. Katie says that's awesome that your family supports you. Yeah, it really, really is. And, you know, here's the weird part about like being marginally famous. Okay, Katie says, I don't recall a ghost episode. All right, I'm going to have to talk to Liz and Jamie about that one. So, you know, I feel like I'm marginally famous. Like very small sect, like being a published author now, being known in the tarot community. Like, I have had people come up to me at conferences, like at Reader's Studio, and say, I'm here because of you. I'm here because you blogged about Reader's Studio, and it seemed like such a good time, and also like such a, you know, an educational opportunity that I was just like, I have to be there, and I have to not only be there, but also I have to meet this person. And I'm just like, wow, that's amazing. Like, that's so cool. Like, people that have traveled across the world. Like, I remember meeting someone from Australia that used to have a tarot business. I don't know if she reads tarot anymore, but I mean, like, Katie, by the way, Katie, who's commenting right now, like, Katie knows about me through that person. Like, so that's just proof that, like, this community can be worldwide. And it just stuns me sometimes about how far-reaching our impact can be without even knowing it, without even meeting someone in person. And like, and actually two Australians, I'm pretty sure, I met at Reader's Studio saying, like, we read your blog. Two that I can think of, Lynette and Sarah. Those are the two people that I remember saying, like, I read about Reader's Studio in your blog, and I felt like I had to. Wow, a lot of double parkers today. Okay. Anyway, what was I saying? But like, you just don't know the impact. And you know, sometimes I do feel like I'm marginally famous, or marginally like fame adjacent, I guess. And the funny part about that is sometimes you just don't know how much of yourself you should reveal for safety's sake, for your own family's sake. Because, like, I mean, most of the time, people are pretty damn cool. You know, like, I say stuff and it's just like, oh yeah, I know about you through so-and-so, or I've heard about you, or yeah, I met your sister, oh yeah, I met your mom, or I met this person, and they were really like, oh, like, I know you through this, and that's awesome. But there are also some real weirdos out there, and not in the good way. And so that can be really scary. And I have had at least 2 stalkers in my life. And I do not use that term lightly. And this was before I was a professional tarot reader, and before I had written a book. I had 2 stalkers. One was in high school, and one was in college. Now, the one in high school, I feel like I don't think any of them were harmless. It was very scary. It was scary. Hold on, let me park. Hopefully I'm parked okay-ish. Let me see if I can get it a little bit tighter. Probably not. myself a little bit room to actually get out if I need to. All right, hi. Hello. So I'm gonna let you look at the ceiling for a second there. All right, cool. Hello. So the reason why I talk about like stalkers and emails is, safety, definitely safety reasons. With the personal information, the family stuff and everything, it's just like how much of it do you want to reveal? How much of it is your personal experience, and that shows your personal experience to relate to your clients while also remaining professional? Like, it's a sticky road to hoe sometimes. And I want to remain accessible, but also, keep the boundaries intact. Boundaries are hard. So, Katie says, I think stalkers is what keeps me quieter on social media or even a public face. I hear you. I really, really do. Because sometimes you don't reconnecting. Your call is very important to us. I'm not sure where I coughed there. Katie said it's worth remembering. This is bad, guys. That's the second time it's reconnecting. So I guess it's a sign that I need to cut this one off. But in case you didn't hear that before, so Katie said it's worth remembering that this is a business, so private life is allowed to be private. And I thank you for that. I really. So, this is part of the reason why I've been really quiet about the reasons why I haven't been able to do my live stream as much lately, why sometimes it's been days at a time that I haven't posted a card of the day, why I haven't been as available for readings in my schedule. There was, it's not my information to tell. It definitely affects me, but it's not my information to tell, and it had a direct and profound impact on me. And there are some people that are in my life that get the full story, and there are some people in my life that get maybe the barest whisperings of it, and there are some people that might not get nothing, and again, some of it is my information to tell, if I'm being very honest, but some of it is not. And we all have our struggles, and we all have our boundaries. And I don't know, having a business and having a public face to your business and feeling like you need to be held accountable for explanations. It's just like, I was just saying this to my mom just this afternoon. It's just like, they don't require your explanation. Like, you can feel free to explain to them whatever you want to explain to them, but you don't need to explain anything to anyone. Like, and if I, at 43 years old, feel as each year passes in my life that other people require less and less explanations, like, hopefully mom also feels that way, or feels like she can start feeling that way. But it is a business. Katie's absolutely right. It's a business. My private life is allowed to be private. And I will share as much as I want to share, and I will keep private what I want to keep private. Reconnecting. Anyway, that's the third time that I reconnected, so I really do have to wrap up. But I use the entirety of my experience in my readings, in my tarot readings. Whether or not I am public about certain experiences, that's a different story. If I feel I need to tell a story in a reading space in order to get the point across, for the interpretation that I'm giving, that's something else, you know? Yeah, I'll absolutely only share what you need to share. Yeah. So thank you all uh, on these streams. I know this live stream was not what you guys were expecting. I'm sure you were expecting the astrology, the mid-episode reading, the weekend forecast, and at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But things were happening. Thank you for your understanding. And if you'd like to book a reading with me, www.tarotbyhillary.com. I see that I already have a reading scheduled Sunday morning, which is awesome. I love to see that. I love to see when I go on Instagram Live and I talk about card slingers and, we have a new episode, and then one of our listeners, who's also one of my regular clients, reaches out to me and books a reading. It just makes my little heart sing so much. So thank you all for your patience and your understanding, and hopefully I will see you for a full episode with all of the fixins next week. All right, if you want to book a reading, tarotbyhillary.com. If I don't see you sooner than that, hopefully see you next week. And have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. If you are celebrating, getting your sunshine in, and also remembering what Memorial Day weekend is about, right? Because it's not just fun in the sun, it's the summer season, but it's also about so much more than that. So Jenny just popped in here. Almost missed you. Have a good weekend. You too, Jenny. Take care, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'm going to take a page from Teresa Reed and say that. And yeah, see you soon. Bye.